Together, I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. Everybody is somebody. Stop the violence. Save the children. Stop bullying. Save the children.
Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Happy New Year to all of you and welcome to the Saturday Morning Forum. This morning's show is not live, as we want those of you in the Chicago area to remain safe in the midst of the winter storm and all of us around the world to remain healthy during the current spike in COVID-19 cases. New Year's Day represents a new beginning and a fresh start in the quest for life and meaning. But January 1st also calls us to look back at the original Watch Night observance as our ancestors waited for New Year's Day 1863 to arrive with freedom in tow. On today's Saturday Morning Forum, we will talk about the Emancipation Proclamation and its meaning, Abraham Lincoln's intent, and our responsibility to continue the fight for freedom, justice, and equality. We will not only talk about emancipation, but also reconciliation as we remember the life, work, and legacy of Archbishop Desmond Tutu, whom the world mourns today. While the weather may be challenging, the push is still on for freedom, justice, and equality. Happy Emancipation Day, and welcome to the Saturday Morning Forum.
Happy New Year, everyone. This is Dr. Joseph Bryant Jr., Executive Director of the Rainbow Push Coalition Silicon Valley office, and we are excited about a brand new year. We're excited about the year 2022, coming to you with fantastic programs under the amazing leadership of our visionary, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. This month, we'll be relaunching our food justice program again, continuing to reach out to needy families to provide them with healthy meals as we continue to strive to recover and to maintain our stability through the pandemic. We will be feeding up to 500 families a month through our program. We're excited about the partnership with the San Francisco Faith-Based Coalition. We will also be providing healthy produce twice a month of milk and proteins and vegetables and fruits to provide to 300 families during the months beginning again here in January. We'll also be resuming our Faith Tech Boot Camp training classes. Our Push Tech program will continue to make training available for digital learning through the churches, and that will begin again this month in January. We're also very excited to launch our prison justice reform program under the leadership of one of our steering committee members, Pastor Timothy Dews of the Bayview Baptist Church of San Francisco. He'll be leading our prison program here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Going into February, we're excited about some of the work we'll be doing, continuing our COVID support program called Keep Hope Alive, where we'll bring together the health professionals here in the Bay Area, our health leadership, our Department of Public Health, along with the health officer, to ensure that our faith community is provided all the information and resources that we need to sustain ourselves through the pandemic. We will also be partnering with the NFL Players Congress. We'll be doing a tribute to Rosie Greer during Super Bowl week. We're excited to be a part of that. We're also going to work again this year with the Fritz Pollard Alliance on their Johnny Cochran Leadership recognition, honoring minority coaches and leaders within the NFL. Will be taking place all throughout the month of February. We're grateful for our partnership with the NBA as they have launched a new HBCU initiative. We'll be working with Kathy Behrens and her office throughout the month of February and throughout the year for not only their HBCU program launches, but also the fellowship program providing internships for young people who want to go into the business of sports through the NBA. Working again with Reginald Grant, former NFL player, doing the E-Pitch Athletes, Tech, and Business quarterly competitions where we bring in individuals who want to do pitch competitions in the area of sports tech. Another one of the initiatives that we have been able to give birth to under the leadership of Reverend Jackson. In April, we'll be doing a Jackie Robinson celebration of sports, and we're going to be honoring Reverend Jackson and his work, longstanding work with the sports world. He's had such an impact, and we're going to put together a very special program to honor Reverend Jackson's legacy, keeping hope alive in sports. And then we run round the corner into the spring. End of the spring, we'll have our 7th annual Push Tech Conference. Push Tech Diversity and Inclusion Conference is right around the corner. So we're just looking forward to an amazing year. One of the most fantastic things we're going to be doing all year long, though, is a partnership with Facebook, now known as Meta, their Elevate certification program. We want to share a little bit of information with you. If you know of any persons that are looking for jobs in the technology space, marketing, digital resource, anything to do with how social media is managed for the greater good, we are grateful for our partnership with Meta. We are grateful for this certification program. We're going to have our first cohort beginning here in January. Here's some more information about how you can sign up and be a part of that cohort in January, and then become a certified associate of digital marketing through our partnership with Facebook/Meta and the Push Tech office. We're just excited to keep hope alive for you throughout 22. Watch this.
Rainbow Push Silicon Valley's Push Tech has partnered with Facebook to bring you Elevate, an industry-recognized digital marketing certification. This enables you to market and manage Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Plus, you get access to a private job board hosted by Facebook and a network support group made up of Facebook employees and thousands of marketers, giving you direct access to industry and platform experts. Our Push Tech team walks you through the process of becoming certified from start to finish, because your success is our mission. Don't wait, now's the time. Start or boost your career and your future. Amplify your voice as a creator and earn money for doing what you love. Organizations, we want to partner with you and bring this opportunity to your community. So come visit us online at rainbowpushsv.org. Classes start in January. Let us elevate your future.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you and yours. My name is Rebecca Cruz. I am the Director of Business Development for Rainbow Push Wall Street Project. We are looking forward to a very productive 2022 with a focus on improving the participation of our trade bureau, broker-dealer firms in the upcoming financial transactions. On March 21st to March 23rd of 2022, we will be hosting our 25th annual Wall Street Project Economic Summit at the Sheraton, New York Times Square Hotel, address 811 7th Avenue. For details, please visit our website, www.rainbowpushwallstreetproject.org, www.rainbowpushwallstreetproject.org. Looking forward to seeing you there, and all the best to you and yours. Thank you.
Hello, I'm attorney Robert Pachola, the Executive Director of the Rainbow Push Coalition Peachtree Street Project here in Atlanta, Georgia, here to give you your 2022 kind of outline for what we're going to be working on down here in the Southeast region. Of course, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope all of you have had a wonderful and safe holiday season. Of course, we're still dealing with the continued effects of the Omicron variant of the coronavirus outbreak going into our 3rd year now. So it seems like it's going to become endemic as opposed to epidemic. So we were hoping that everyone gets vaccinated, gets boosted, continues to practice social distancing, and also the best health practices advocated by the CDC and your local health experts, because it is important for us to ensure the safety and security of individuals in our community. We have seen over the course of the last several years that the African American community suffers from one of the highest comorbidity rates of any community. So because of that reason, it's important for us to take the proper health precautions necessary to ensure that we are doing the best medical things for ourselves and for our families and for our children going forward. So in 2022, what we're going to be working on primarily is getting ready for election season 2022. It's going to be one of the most impactful elections in recent memory. The reason for this is that everything that was campaigned on in 2020 is on the ballot going into 2022. We saw the failures of the Senate to act on many of the initiatives that people campaigned on and were promised last year. Everything from voting rights, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, the For the People Act, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, many things that were part of the president's agenda and initiatives. And what we're facing going into 2022 is whether or not any of those things will ever happen. If a majority is able to be maintained and increased by the Democrats in 2022, then many of the things will be passed. If, however, there is a quote unquote red wave in politics, then many of things will not be passed. So it's not really a partisan issue. As you know, we do not take a side on politics, whether it be Republican or Democrat, but we do take a side on issues, and issues such as voting rights have to be upheld. Issues such as police reform have to be upheld. Issues such as anti-lynching legislation, which has not been passed on the federal level, must be upheld. So it is in our best interest to ensure that free and fair elections are executed in such a way that we will have the actual will of the people picking the people in office and not simply the will of the bureaucrats. And part of that is going to be watching many of these initiatives that are being placed around the country, which are anti-democratic in nature. The Georgia State Legislature many months ago passed a voter suppression law, which at its root allowed the Republican state legislature to take over local boards of elections and also take the power to oversee state elections from the Secretary of State's office. It's going to be incumbent on us in the social justice and nonprofit and civil rights community to monitor these things, to file suit when necessary, to file election contests when necessary, to ensure that these people do not have the ability to, as the 45th president said, find the 11,800 votes for the other side to be able to win. If we are able to maintain free and fair elections in this country and actually have the will of the people executed, then what we will see is more people coming to the polls, more people exercising their right to the franchise, more people being involved in our system, and hopefully a more powerful move towards ensuring that America is the nation that it has always promised us it will be. In addition to the election season, we also are going to be working on criminal justice issues. At one point in time, Georgia had the largest prison population east of the Mississippi. We are hoping to pass the type of criminal justice reform packages here on the state level that will continue to diminuate those numbers and continue to help work towards a society where we're not mass incarcerating large numbers of African Americans statewide. In addition to that, we want to ensure that our corporate partners are working through and contributing to the types of organizations necessary to fight back against police brutality, to fight back against racism and discrimination in higher education, to fight back against many of the artifices that have been created, which maintain the social strife and the social stratification, which has led to the differences in America that we see currently. So there's a lot of work that we have to do going forward. The fight is long, but the fight has been fought by our leader, Reverend Jesse Jackson, for 3/4 of a century. So for us who are now at the vanguard, there is no reason that we cannot pick up this baton and continue the fight going forward. Of course, if you want to be involved in the Atlanta chapter of the Rainbow Push Coalition, the Peachtree Street Project, you can go to rainbowpushatlanta.org, follow us on social media. Of course, call the office anytime. You can get myself or our program coordinator, Trina Heathington, on the phone. We'll be more than happy to talk with you and bring you into this fight so that we can continue going forward in the spirit of change, to the spirit of progress, which is necessary to make America the nation which it is meant to be. Thank you all so much, and Happy New Year.
one of Chicago's most well-known streets, demonstrators calling attention to the hundreds of lives lost this year to violence.
You see us carrying pictures of more than 79 victims who were murdered who are 18 or younger. I know of 2 young people that have been shot in the last 20 hours.
Father Michael Flager believes city leaders have prioritized tackling COVID-19 over gun violence.
So are we not as concerned about the epidemic of violence because it's mostly black and brown being killed? That's no longer acceptable. Let's give a big shout out to Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson.
I am somebody. I am somebody. Respect me. Protect me. Say about children. Say about children. Stop the violence. Save the children. Say about children. Stop the violence. Keep hope alive. Never give up. Keep hope alive. Let me hear you scream. I want to express my thanks to Father Flager for being the kind of minister that we need. A big hand for Father Flager. Every denomination in the country has a leadership in Chicago. Who are they today? To be here part of this march. And the men don't have a march because they don't have a following. And they're afraid to call the march, people won't show up. Father Flager thinks we should call the march.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank
He
you.
said, my friends, Jelani Day was killed last year. Illinois State University student. He a med student. Had lunch with 2 friends, 2 young girls, and he went missing. They found him several days later. His car was over a bank by the Y. 3.5 miles from that was his clothes. 3.5 miles from that was his body across the river. Number of bones left. It's the immaterial of our time. We live in Illinois, we must make Jelani Day our cases that made Aubrey their case in Georgia. Can I get a witness? Yes. Jelani Day. Let me go a step further, my friends. When the change we made in the country always came bottom up. It didn't come top down. We need police to boycott buses in Montgomery. We need police to stop the fight in Birmingham. When we stand up, to repeat, when we stand up,
we stand up.
The whole world must bring adjustment. When we fight back, the world must stand up. The point is that I went out to Simeon. I came to the hospital 2 days, 4 killings, 2 killings in 4 days. And I asked students, I said, first of all, 1,400 students at Simeon, 14 present that day. There's no media coverage. 14 students out of 100. Right. They're afraid to come to school. So, well, I asked them, I said, now, if the killer white, what we all do? So we find them. If it's black, I said, would you tell it? Or they start talking about snitching. I said, black people have a right to live. Nobody has a right.
Nobody has a right
to kill us. Change our minds. But the color of justice. Just has no color. Black kills a white. Jail time. White kills a black. White kills a black. Riot time. Black kills a black. Brown kills a brown. Another time. We adjust. We must not adjust to being killed.
Right.
The number of unsolved murders in Chicago means that somebody here is sanctuary for killers. So we cannot be sanctuary for killers. What I'm trying to say, Father Flager, is simply this: that I said that one day after student police and all that, students, I said, you know who shot the boy.
Right.
The students know. Students know. We must turn in killers.
Right.
We must not be a sanctuary for killers. So somebody knows. The woman in Rittenhouse, she took her son to do the killing.
Right.
Killed 2 boys and came back home.
Right.
Came back, got in the car, and came back home. Crossed state lines. State attorney general said nothing about it. Here up in Wisconsin.
Hero now.
We want to stop the killing. Stop killing.
Stop the killing.
Save children.
Save our children.
Everybody must tell it.
Everybody must tell it.
Do something about it.
Do something about it.
But I guess I'm trying to say, Father Flager, something to this: that if we only stop, we change our minds. We in the Montgomery sector, we change our minds. In the Birmingham lockout, change our minds. We got the right to vote, we change it. See, whenever we change our minds,
Whenever we change our minds,
great things come our way. Change our minds.
Change our minds.
About violence. We know where the guns come from, trucks, gun shop, right across the border.
Right.
Why don't we leave stakes out there so everybody who gets the gun come across the border, change their mind right then. There's no sense that there's a plan at this point to stop the violence. We must get every bullet certified.
Right.
Every bullet.
Every bullet.
Every bullet.
Every bullet.
Must have a name and number on it.
Name and number.
You know if you did the killing.
You know who did the killing?
You know where the bullet came from. We must make people more accountable.
Make people accountable.
So I'm saying to you, my friend, it's time to march now. The fight is all over.
Right.
Fight is all over. Fight is all over.
Fight till it's all over.
Life.
Life.
There's hope.
There's hope.
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 Possibility.
Possibility.
Thank Father Flaker. Thank Bishop. All who stand together. Let's march.
Let's march.
Let's march.
Let's march.
Let's march. Let's march.
Reverend Jesse Jackson says more needs to be done to get the people responsible for the killings off the streets.
Feeling lost in direction, feeling alone in four walls, but I stand here with you in all. Just because you're lonely, you're not alone. Life is a journey, explore it. It's a boggy path, but you'll get through it. I know it's hard, I know it's tough, I know it's unfair, so you must be strong. We will survive the hurt, we will survive. As long as I have survived, we will survive the hurt, we will survive. As long as I have survived. Now it's not time to give up, so go on, stop that crying. Remember that we have each other, so there's no more need to worry. Come on, it's time to rise. Just stand up by my side, so that we can survive. Just stand by my side. Together we'll survive. We will survive the hurt. We will survive. As long as I have survived, we will survive the hurt. We will survive. As long as I have survived. We need everyone helping to keep the chain strong. One break in the chain and I'll go wrong. We are only as strong as our weakest link. The fact that some folks are lying really does make you think. Try to concentrate on everything that is very kind and be grateful that you still have a sound working mind. Stay 6 feet apart as we put our life on pause and try to get used to all these new laws. Yeah. We will survive the hurt. We will survive cause us. As long as I have survived, we will survive the hurt. We will survive cause us. As long as I have survived, we will survive the hurt. We will survive cause us. As long as I have survived, we will survive the hurt. We will survive cause us. As long as I have survived. As long as I have you.
year, I want to invite you to help us bring to pass a vision that was given to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. by the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King had a dream of 1,000 churches connected. We got, 50 major markets. If we have 20 churches in those 50 major markets that would basically say, I'm going to connect with Rainbow Push. And in connecting with Rainbow Push, we'll do it on several levels. We'll do it by way of offering our financial support to Rainbow Push. I've already sent a check both to Reverend Jackson and to Rainbow Push because it's definitely necessary at this time that we understand the need to utilize our prophetic witness in an empowered fashion. I often say that while the Republicans are playing a game of power chess, the Democrats are trying to learn how to play checkers. Listen, we preach about power. We talk about power. The question is, are we going to wield power? Reverend Jackson says we can wield power with 1,000 churches around this country connected in investing in Rainbow Push, but also not only must we invest in Rainbow Push, I hope you join me and will contribute at least $1,000. I've done more than that, but you can do what God has blessed you to do. And then not only that, I want to encourage you, as Reverend Jackson is talking about, we need, just as we have Sunday school classes, we've got to have social justice classes and teach what it means to unite or reunite in holy wedlock, what never should have been divorced, Jesus and justice. That's what 1,000 churches connected can do. Imagine 1,000 churches throughout this country connected, wielding power. Watch this, as one, but at the same time doing all we can to make a difference in our respective areas, being fed, watch this, information as well as inspiration from Rainbow Push as a family and Reverend Jesse Jackson as our fearless leader. So I hope that you'll join me. Join 1,000 churches connected. That's a real good way to keep hope alive.
We're excited to get more people involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in impacting public policies, if you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, you can become a policymaker by becoming a member of Rainbow Push right now. For an annual membership of $35, or if you're a student or senior, $15, you can help us make a difference in the lives of millions. How do you become a member? Visit our website at rainbowpush.org and press join. Or maybe you'd like to support us. You can text the word PUSH, that's P-U-S-H, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give any amount you feel comfortable giving. You can also call us at 773-256-2775, or go to rainbowpush.org and push donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
Lift every voice and sing till earth, heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies resound the roar. song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. March on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, the chastening rod felt in the days when hope unborn has died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughter, out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of my star is cast. God of our weary years, of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk of the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our God, true to our native land, true to our native land.
In the Gullah culture, we believe in blood memory. Things that has happened to your ancestors, you can pull that same energy, that memory. On every watch night, that's what people feel. You're praying for your freedom. Hours start counting down because you're getting closer to the time the president says whether you are free. The Gullah communities, they were buzzing. People were coming from miles. They were coming from off Edistal, Guatemala Islands, little tiny islands that people didn't even know existed. And you found black Union soldiers coming down here from the 54th Massachusetts Regiment. You found people lined up outside with drums and guitars, and people having different pots of food cooking, and it created a energy of welcome. We can get to the next level regardless of what the situation is. We'll still be able to move forward.
It was a great day. Emancipation Proclamation. Read here in Beaufort County, January 1, 12 o'clock. People crowded on boats to go across rivers to that spot, which was known as Camp Saxon, to hear it read. because the rumor was out that if you weren't there on site to hear it read, then you might not get to be free. People crowded into that little space and heard Mr. Brisbane, who had been sent down by Lincoln to read it to the gathering of enslaved people at that point.
The most important thing to me is for my people to know from whence they came and how they got to where we are. That's important, because if you don't know where you come from, you're not going very far.
When my people escaped, they escaped in a little battle with his wife and 3 children. The youngest of the 3, she started to cry. And they could not make her stop crying. So he had to make a decision, either be caught or be going to be free. He told his wife, he said, "Raya, throw that gal overboard." God had her ready for the journey. So instead of throwing the baby overboard, she had a mattress that was stuffed with corn shuck. So she threw that baby in that mattress, rolled that mattress around the baby, held the baby close to her. Well, the mattress muffled the baby's cry. And they made their way across the water to Hilton Head Island. It's a story that I can pass down to my children and to generations to come about our people and their determination to be free.
Nobody can tell our story like us. We've been there. We have done that. The Emancipation is an opportunity to talk about what we need to do and where we need to go for this country to really live out its creed of the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It's our responsibility as Gullah people to get this out to the people. New Year's at the church, why? You eat this certain food, why? Y'all play this certain music, why? It boils down to freedom. This one tradition here is a tradition that affects everybody.
To preserve it, we have to continue to practice. And of course, it will require all of us.
The fight for freedom is everybody's fight. If we don't pay attention to that, then what we have as a country is going to fall apart.
If I'm not going to die with a broken heart, then I will have to see emancipations on January 1 being celebrated all over this country.
Watchmen, please tell me the hour of the night.
The time is 1.
In Lincoln's Wartime Act, Turner saw the fulfillment of God's prophecy to free his people. And so it came to pass that most slaves learned of emancipation from men who looked like them, men who wore Union blue.
Men and women, old and young, were running through the streets, shouting and praising God. We could then truly see what we had been fighting for. I took one old woman by the hand and asked her if she was glad to see us. "Why, bless the Lord," she said. it seems like the good Lord has opened the heavens and handed you down an answer to my prayer.
By the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas, on the 22nd day of September, in the year of our Lord, 1862, a proclamation was issued by the President of the United States containing, among other things, the following to wit.
That on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free. And the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authority thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of such persons, and will do no act or acts to repress such persons, or any of them in any efforts they may make for their actual freedom.
That the executive will, on the first day of January aforesaid, by proclamation, designate the states and parts of states, if any, in which the people thereof, respectively, shall then be in rebellion against the United States. And the fact that any state, or the people thereof, shall on that day be, in good faith, represented in the Congress of the United States by members chosen thereto at elections wherein a majority of the qualified voters of such state shall have participated, shall in absence of strong countervailing testimony be deemed conclusive evidence that such state and the people thereof are not then in rebellion against the United States.
Now therefore I, Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States, by virtue of the power in me vested as Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States in time of actual armed rebellion against the authority and government of the United States, and as a fit and necessary war measure for suppressing said rebellion, due on this first day of January, in the year of our Lord 1863, and in accordance with my purpose, so to do publicly, proclaim for the full period of 100 days, from the day first above mentioned, order and designate as the states and parts of states, wherein the people thereof respectively are this day in rebellion against the United States, the following to wit:
Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, except the parishes of St. Bernard, Plaquemines, Jefferson, St. John, St. Charles, St. James Assumption, Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. Mary, St. Martin, and Orleans, including the city of New Orleans, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, except the 48 counties designated as West Virginia, and also the counties of Berkeley, Accomack, Northampton, Elizabeth City, York, Princess Anne, and Norfolk, including the cities of Norfolk and Portsmouth, and which exempted parts are for the present left precisely as if this proclamation were not issued.
And by the virtue of the power, and for the purpose aforesaid, I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are and henceforward shall be free, and that the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of said person.
And I hereby enjoin upon the people so declared to be free, to abstain from all violence, unless in necessary self-defense. And I recommend to them that, in all cases when allowed, they labor faithfully for reasonable wages.
And I further declare and make known that such persons of suitable condition will be received into the armed service of the United States to garrison forts, positions, stations, and other places, and to man vessels of all sorts in said service.
And upon this act, sincerely believed to be an act of justice, warranted by the Constitution, upon military necessity. I invoke the considerate judgment of mankind and the gracious favor of Almighty God.
In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the United States to be affixed.
Done at the city of Washington, this first day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1863, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 87th.
By the President, Abraham Lincoln. William H. Seward, Secretary of State. God bless you all.
Happy Emancipation Day to all of you. I'm Todd Yeary, and welcome to this week's edition of Due Process. Today marks not only the start of the new year, but also the important remembrance of the first watch night. Last night, congregations of faith gathered in person and virtually to see the arrival of 2022 while acknowledging the power and grace of God. However, it was New Year's Eve in 1862 when it is recorded that many African Americans gathered in churches to mark the arrival of January 1st, 1863, and the effective date of President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln had first announced the Emancipation Plan on September 22nd, 1862, just days after the Battle of Antietam in Sharpsburg, Maryland. That battle had seen some of the highest fatalities of the Civil War on both the Confederate and Union sides. And just months prior, in July 1862, the Congress passed the Militia Act, which allowed black men to serve as laborers in the military, and the Confiscation Act, which required that enslaved persons seized from Confederate sympathizers be declared free. These significant legislative acts helped to position the Emancipation Proclamation from becoming a mere political ploy in an effort to preserve the Union. While Lincoln's address acknowledges the import of protecting the Union, the Declaration of Freedom for enslaved persons in territories where Lincoln had no authority has caused great debate over the true intentions of the nation's 16th president. Although it is widely reported that Lincoln held strong personal beliefs about the immorality of slavery, he was equally concerned that he did not have the constitutional power to change the reality of the slave economy. However, the legislative acts of Congress, combined with the ever-growing concern about the vulnerability of the Union to other outside forces, created the necessary pressure for Lincoln's, albeit imperfect, executive order. For those who had longed for liberty and freedom, whether the proclamation was grounded in solid political rules or not was of no consequence. The mere possibility of freedom, however remote or ill-conceived, was worthy of standing watch until the midnight hour struck and the calendar advanced. To this day, black congregations around the nation observe the first remembrance of Watch Night. The challenge for people of faith today is to remember what was truly at stake in 1862 and to pay attention to that which is at stake today. While we continue to see reminders of the regressive acts of persons who are trying to lead the country back in time, we must remain vigilant and stand watch, not only for the passage of time, but for the protection of liberty and justice for all. In that regard, today we remember a religious leader, human rights champion, and Nobel laureate, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who passed away last Sunday at the age of 90. Most widely known for his role in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings after the defeat of apartheid in South Africa, Archbishop Tutu's voice became widely held as one of sobriety, compassion, and justice. At times viewed as controversial, the Arch, as he was often called, was not afraid to wade in deep waters to address systemic injustices, even if his views were considered off the mark, such as with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Born to a poor family in Klerksdorp, South Africa, of Xhosa and Botswana lineage, Desmond Tutu was trained as a teacher before beginning his seminary training for the Anglican priesthood. He married his wife, Nomalizo, in 1955. Together, they had 4 children. His priestly service included service as the Dean of St. Mary's Cathedral in Johannesburg and Bishop of Lesotho. In 1985, he became Bishop of Johannesburg, and in 1986, he was appointed Archbishop of Cape Town, the first Black to hold either position. During his tenure as General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches, he lent his gravitas of voice and moral clarity to the call for the end to South Africa's apartheid system of Black subjugation and white minority rule, stressing nonviolent resistance to dismantle the system of separateness. It was after the release of Nelson Mandela that Bishop Tutu helped to mediate the conflicts among differing factions. It was, however, Archbishop Tutu's service as chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that was crucial in helping South Africa move beyond the stain of apartheid while investigating long-standing human rights abuses that were perpetrated under the apartheid regimes. The commission hearings remain a model for other nations that would seek to credibly address historic injustices and human rights violations. Archbishop Tutu made his transition on the day after Christians around the world observed the birth of the Christ child. As with the wise kings who made their way to the manger, Archbishop Desmond Tutu presented to the babe the gold, frankincense, and myrrh of his commitment, compassion, and courage. He has now returned to the home beyond the stars, where his soul should rest for the ages, and our lives will be enriched by his service. Archbishop Tutu once said, quote, "Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness," end quote. He indeed lived a life fueled by hope. God bless the legacy and memory of Archbishop Desmond Mpilo Tutu, and may we all, as he did, keep hope alive. And that is this week's Due Process. Happy New Year, happy Liberation Day. For more information on these issues and other areas of our work, visit rainbowpush.org. I'm Todd Yeary.
Push Excel's goal is to inspire students to strive for excellence in education in spite of personal, family, and community challenges that they might experience. How do we do this? By advocating for educational policies that guarantee equal funding for all students without regard to race or economic standing. By engaging parents, students, and teachers in pursuing high-quality education and striving for educational excellence at every level. And by forging partnerships with community-based and public sector stakeholders in education. Now, Push Excel is a national model program with the purpose of connecting principals, parents, popular personalities, and students in a bond and to support students at every level on the educational ladder. Now, we want you to become a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition and Push Excel. Your annual membership can help us to change policies that impact students, colleges, and universities all around the country. So step up and sign up today. Membership is only $35, and if you're a student or a senior, $15. Just go to our website, rainbowpush.org, and push join to become a member or push donate to support the Push Excel program. You can also text the word Push Excel, that's PUSHEXCEL, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give us any amount that you feel comfortable giving or call us at 773-256-2775. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you. And remember to keep hope alive.
Dr. Kim, I went to jail with a group of 7 students, July 17, 1960, almost 60 years ago. We never stopped moving. I lost a few of jail cells and death. We never stopped moving. I thought it was time to write some of it down so the older generation can learn how we did what we did and how global it was. Was speaking about Mandela in South Africa, India, Qatar, Uganda in India, here at home. This book tells the story, so please get it and give it to your friends. Read it, let's argue about it, let's discuss it.
Yep, so the book is Keeping Hope Alive, Sermons and Speeches of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. It's quite a good collection. You know, we've got sermons and speeches from around the globe because you have made such a global impact, not just here in the U.S., but around the world.
Thank you for tuning in to our International Saturday morning broadcast. We need your support. Here are ways to give to Rainbow Push Coalition. Text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444 to support the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and Rainbow Push Coalition. When you shop, Amazon gives. Visit Amazon Smile and select Push for Excellence as your charitable organization by starting your shopping at smile.amazon.com.
We are Sanctuary. We are a sanctuary.
When I think of Rainbow Push, I think of two words: social justice.
Education advocacy.
Political empowerment.
Freedom and equality.
Corporate partnership.
Stop the violence. Save the children. Don't get in. Shut it down. If we don't get in, shut it down.
Political change.
Inclusion, evolution.
Progress, justice.
Jesse Jackson.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
We want to be bridges to end these cultural gaps.
Going forward. By hope. Not backwards. By fear.